a sustainability warrior by heart, and with the aim to create a better world for the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, Vani Rikhy Mehra is the current AVP Sales and Mobility at Euler Motors, an Indian EV company focused on electric commercial vehicles. With over a decade of experience in business development and growth in the tech space, Vani started her professional journey with Reliance Petrochemicals and later moved to Cube26, a software application and technology company, after completing her master's in engineering from Cornell University. Joined Euler Motors in 2018, Vani, in her current role, works with a team of 50 plus professionals and trains them in bridging the gap between customer requirement and the availability of customized Euler Motor solutions and expertise. Vani, welcome to Women in Mobility, an initiative by Mobility Outlook, where we engage with women leaders across the mobility space and get to know about their perspective on leadership and take inspiration from their corporate journey. Welcome. Vani, I want to start off by asking that the mobility space is always looked upon as a male dominated industry. Now, what challenges did you face in your initial days and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, definitely. Mobility as a sector has traditionally been male dominated, but I would say we are seeing a lot of changes now. And I started off in the sector in 2018, so been good 4 years. And today I would say it's vastly different. Back then, I think the changes had started. We started seeing more women. Brands were a little more cautious on gender inclusivity, etc., etc. But on ground, like females are always seen as the dainty or, the delicate gender. So people don't expect to see a woman on ground in the logistics or in the automotive space, right? But I was new to this field. I don't traditionally come from the mobility sector. So in order to get my fact right, to understand use cases and be thorough with, so that I could also use the lingo which the industry uses, understand what's actually happening, I had no shortcut to take. I had to be there on ground. And yes, I think it's very safe, It's not that, you're going into a warehouse and it will be unsafe. No, it's not. Neither does anyone have to guard you or anything. It's very safe. But it's just that you feel like you're the odd one out. Right. So, but I would say, that really helped me grow Euler. It helped me grow myself as an individual, as a professional, because I could gather data points as raw as they could get, right? So once I had those data points, it was easier for me to convince management or other stakeholders in the industry as to what I'm saying and why I'm saying. It was backed with data. It was not just certain statements out of nowhere. And when they themselves heard from their teams that I had gathered this data by talking to customers, stakeholders, managers, dispatch leaders, etc., so they were also convinced that yes, what I'm thinking of and what I'm pitching to them around electric vehicles, around e-mobility, was probably out of passion and with a thought, and use case, which would, it was not something short term, but the long term vision. So that's how I gained confidence of people. But it was definitely a challenge to convince them initially. I think today the number of women has definitely increased. And if you see the whole value chain of logistics or mobility, right from the delivery partner, like these days you have people from Amazon, Big Basket, women delivering to you. And why should they not? I mean, they should support their households, right? Right from there to the dispatch leaders to even the top management, now you see good, okay, you wouldn't see an equal split, but you see a good number of women, and I've seen this only grow over the past 4 years.
So Vani, as you pointed out that women are looked upon as an odd one out in the mobility sector. So what measures are you taking to ensure that the women employees at Euler Motors are not faced with same problems?
Right. I think I have been happy enough and lucky enough to kind of have the support of the management to push this thought out. So we recently set up a new factory, which is still being set up in Palwal. And we started hiring from scratch over there. And already 20% of the workforce over there is women, whether it is operators on the ground, in the store, quality checks, in different fields, where they can contribute. Also, in the office, we're about a good 20-30% women and only growing day on day. We're trying to include as many women as we can in the industry we find, but the challenge is it's a limited talent pool because traditionally you don't find women with experience in this industry. But if we see a good cultural fit and we think, people are willing to learn, they're always welcome to reach out to Euler for an appropriate opportunity.
So any measures that you're taking in order to increase the women employee rate?
On the hiring front. On the hiring front. So we have an HR team who has tied up with different ITIs, and they have put the requirement over there, that they are willing to hire women. Traditionally, some organizations do, some don't, but we have taken this step too.
So what were the key learnings in your first job with Cube 26, and what learnings have you taken forward at Euler Motors?
Okay, so in fact, before Cube 26, I was at Reliance, and this was straight out of college, just after engineering, and I was posted at a petrochemical plant, as a maintenance engineer. And that is how I think I started my career from a male-dominated industry as well, because it was a petrochemical plant. There were very few girls there, and all the technicians, they were aged people with 20-25 years of work experience, working in the same plant for years together. And suddenly this GET girl joins and they are told that she's going to be telling you what jobs to do from tomorrow. Didn't go very well with them. so I think I had a lot of learnings from there and that experience. And when you're fresh out of college, you have all this energy and you want to do things and all that. Then all the emotions, they have to gel well together. So I took it upon myself that I had a lot to learn from them. I just had theoretical knowledge, but they were the ones running the plant for years together ever since it was set up. So, I think it's just a bit of respect, any industry which you are in, right, which you have to give to veterans who know the ins and outs and the practicalities of that industry. And when they feel they can learn something from you or a smarter way to do something, because being junior, you might be more technologically advanced. So when they feel that it's a symbiotic relationship and you're not really threatening anyone in the industry, it works out great. So I've tried to apply this to wherever I have been to, and it's not about junior, senior experience. It's about, how can we coexist even at Euler or even as an industry by giving and taking and learning from each other.
So is that the mantra for the young women employees that are joining?
Definitely, I would suggest this. Yes.
So what measures are you taking in order to increase the women involvement at Euler Motors?
On the hiring front, see, we are a startup which has just closed Series C. We have aggressive targets to meet in the EV mobility space. We feel the moon is not the limit. We have the universe to conquer. So we are growing our teams aggressively, and not just Delhi, pan-India. We're trying to incorporate women candidates wherever we can.
So has Euler set up any target to reach about?
So we're already 30%, and this 20 to 30%. I think by the end of this year will be 30%. So there are internal targets. When we started off, honestly, we were just discussing this during one of the meets that I think and there were maybe two more girls, and now it feels great to have come such a long way.
Now, Vani, as we know, you also a family woman, and for a woman who's looking for a woman, the society has a pressure that she should look upon the family. That's her first priority. So how do you manage with the time between family and?
So I myself am a mother to a 4-year-old. So it's challenging. It can get overwhelming. I think this is like the superpower women have, that they have to manage everything. There are days which are tough, but I think at the end of the day, it's passion, and you need to love what you're doing on both fronts, at home as well as work. And that's what just keeps you going. There'll be days which are tough. There'll be days which are great. But this is part of life, right? I'm sure it's not just because I'm a woman. A man who is a father would also have to go through the same thing. It's just that society looks upon women like that. But yeah, I think if you're passionate about your job and you look forward to coming to office, you'll be able to manage it. You'll be able to balance it. Right. You'll find ways to, either late night or early morning, but you'll manage to do it.
Message do you want to give out to the young women either entrepreneurs or the women employees that are willing to work in the mobility space?
So, see, I understand that being a woman can be tough. You have various responsibilities on the home front, which itself is a job. So, you're literally running two jobs. But I think it's also very important to be financially independent. And why not? And you should give your career, take up your career with equal passion as well. So, if there's any way in which I can influence someone to take this decision, or kind of help them out, I would be more than willing to guide them, or whatever ways it can be.
So thank you, Vani. Thank you for giving out your perspective on leadership and women employment in the mobility sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.